So let's have a chat about what has dropped off my wish list and why. Hello, and the warmest of welcome to today's video. For those of you who haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Nick, proud to have you here. Those who have seen my face before, thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you're enjoying my videos. I put out videos roughly 3 times a week on a range of different topics, anywhere from fashion to slightly more personal topics. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then please do head down, hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I love chatting with you all. I'm all about living life loud, and what that means to me is being your authentic self, being proud to be you, and just celebrating who you are. Celebrating yourself, and of course, celebrating others. So, what have I been up to today? I've been having a little moochy mooch, buying some plants and updating my silk flower arrangements. I have plants, so I have snake plants and peace lilies, and then I have silk flowers. I love real flowers, do not get me wrong, but I was finding that they just weren't lasting no matter what I did. They were half of them had flowered, half of them hadn't. So by the time that half flowered, that half had wilted. So I decided to take the plunge a while ago and go for silk flowers. And I have updated my arrangements because they are something that I don't think you can buy all in one go. I think to make them just look as glorious and luscious and thoughtful as possible, you need to have a flash of inspiration with them. So I had a base for a long time, and then today I was in Dunelm and I had a flash of inspiration when I saw some of the colours. I saw this gorgeous blue, the pinks, the yellows, and I thought, you know what, I've got this great base of pastels. Let's bring in some brighter colours and let's bring in some height as well with some of the sprigs as well, eucalyptus, foliage sprigs. So that's what I decided to do. And I then had a flash of inspiration of what to do with a second arrangement, because this beautiful Port Merion vase with Swarovski crystals on it was sat empty. And I thought it's time to put something in it. It still needs a little bit more, I'll be honest, because I stole some of the flowers intended for this to put in my main arrangement. But I've got a great base now and I can just start to add to it. And I've gone for some greys and some pinks, some neutrals here, but then with this great green, because I think pink and green as a combination is really quite striking. So you see a lot of pink and green in my choices, because if I were to ever switch out, for example, if I were to ever change the sofa, I would change it to green and then I'd flip all the accessories so that they were then all pink. So those are my 2 colours, and then I tend to bring in bright blue and yellow interchangeably with accessories and things like that. So I'm just, you didn't really ask for that, to hear a bit more about that. But the reason I like to share this stuff with you is because I get asked a lot about, whose style do I look at, etc., and whose style do I wish I could emulate. I don't wish I could emulate anyone's style. I have my own, and for me it's about a taste level. And I think that seeing not just the items that someone owns, but how they wear them and style them, how they decorate their home, how they, the choices that they make in stuff outside of, a handbag, a shoe, fashion choices. That to me is important because it's indicative of a taste level, and I like to see a rounded taste level. And that's not to say that everyone will understand my taste or think that I have great taste, because a lot of people, I'm sure, don't think that I have good taste or understand my style. So that's absolutely fine, because I think you can connect with an individual and want to watch them oppose and not necessarily love everything that they buy, wear, style. That's okay. That's what makes things interesting, is everyone having a different taste and a different sense of style. To feel like I can emulate someone's style. So take, for example, any Real Housewives fans out there. Lisa Vanderpump. She has exquisite taste in all manner of speaking. Her fashion was always on point. Her home is absolutely glorious. Carl Richards is another one. Whereas someone like Erica Girardi, love her fashion, but when you looked at her home, etc., it wasn't particularly my taste. So it's different levels for me. But I love to take inspiration from others, but there is certainly no one whose style I wish I could have. I have my own. I'm very comfortable with it. It's forever changing and evolving, and I think it's very... When people come to my home, they immediately can say, Nick, this is so you. It's just absolutely what I would expect from you, which is perfect for me because I live here. So, but that's what I want to have, and it's got a bit of fun and a bit of whimsy, and I recently redid the pictures on the walls as well, and I've got some more pictures that I'll be putting here, and I'll be changing out the canvas, and you know, all of that kind of stuff. It's forever changing because I get new inspiration and I like to change things out, but the base layer is always the same, which is this beautiful kind of pink. A lot of it is centered around this pink sofa. That's where a lot of this is centered from. The pink sofa, and then it's all fanned out from there. Anyway, that wasn't what you came here for, but you know, let's just chat. That's what sometimes this is all about. Anyhow, wish list. Items that I have been talking about, thinking about, that I have now decided they can be relinquished from the wish list. I don't want to worry about them. I'm not searching for them any longer, and there are specific reasons why. Like most people in the current climate, I am being really conscious about what I buy, where my money goes, you know, and balancing my day-to-day life, socializing, travel, all of the things that I want to do, with also buying beautiful things that I love to wear, style, and own. So it's this constant balance, and I'm very lucky that I have the option to balance those two things, and I can continue to do both. But I'm not someone who can do both in excess. One then means that there's a little bit of a sacrifice for the other, and vice versa. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So I've been looking at some of the stuff that I was considering and thinking about, would it work for me? Why am I wanting to buy it? And ultimately, would I get the use out of it? I'm a big cost per wear person. We know this. I'm a big cost per wear person. Also, quickly, sorry, bag of the day. This. Very chaotic, this video, isn't it? Anyway, stick with me. Kurt Geiger, XXL flap in denim. Trying to use that more. But yes, so I'm looking at the list, and some of this stuff I still absolutely love. Some of it I still absolutely love. All of it I still really love, actually. Most of it. But there are specific reasons why they're not on the list. Okay, so let's start with number one. This won't be a surprise, Telfar bags. I've spoken about this in a couple of recent videos. I bought one, I bought the UGG collaboration, didn't love it, returned it to Selfridges, shared that with you, and I spoke in my most recent video about bags I returned, about the fact that that has now struck Telfar bags in general off the list, because I have a question around the quality, and one of the main USPs of it was the dual strap option, and that wouldn't work for me because of the length of those straps. I have an MCM piece I much prefer, and MCM bring out other pieces that I would prefer. So that has dropped off the list for that reason. The next thing that has dropped off is the purple mulberry Bayswater. Now, this is gorgeous. The colour is stunning. It's like an amethyst. It's absolutely beautiful. This has dropped off the list because I am committed to buying one in pink. Now, they don't have one out in the current collection in the heritage style in pink, but I have asked a couple of consigners to look into trying to source one for me from the pre-loved market. An excellent condition pink, and I'm willing to pay good money for it because I have two heritage Bayswaters. I love them and I use them. So I am prepared to pay a decent amount for that bag in order to get the right one. They don't do brilliantly on the resale market. Mulberry doesn't retain its value, which means that it won't be, you know, too steep, but I would be prepared to pay, you know, somewhere nearer to RRP to get the right one for that, because it's a beautiful bag. I know I would use it, and pink is my colour. So spending the $1,200 on the purple, as beautiful as it is, I would use my Trippy Tiger in the blue more, I think, that I already own, and I would prefer a pink, and I'd probably end up buying a pink anyway. So it would feel like a bit of a stopgap almost, and that's not what I need. I just need to get what it is that I'm looking for. If it takes me a bit longer, if I end up paying a fee to a consignor to get the right thing, so be it, if it gets me the right bag. having the pink Alexa has reinforced that for me. I love it. I'm keeping that bag. I do really love it. I do wish it was a Bayswater though. So that's that. I love a good heel. We know this. I push the boundary with the heel. It throws some people love it, some people loathe it. That's all fine. They go on my feet, no one else's. So I love a good heel. I love a tall heel. I love a 120. I am okay with the fact that I get in from a night out and my feet are throbbing. But I know I will have looked absolute fire throughout the evening because I have made sure there's nothing worse than looking uncomfortable. So I've got all the tricks in terms of how to make them as comfortable as I can. And it's just about embracing it and being like, when people say to me, do your feet hurt? Yes, they hurt, but it's all good. Let's go dance. You know, you've just got to embrace it. So I love the 120s. I am still committed to getting a pair of Louboutin So-Kates. A lot of people say they're out. I don't care. However, what I have let go of, the idea of owning, are Sophia Webster pumps. I love the butterfly wings on the back. They are just so beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. The reason I'm letting these go is because I just wouldn't wear them. They would be showpieces. I would be nervous even when I did wear them to a formal event, for example, that if I scraped the back of the butterfly wing, what could happen? Could they snap? Could they break? I don't want to be worried about that. I have had formal shoes ruined in the past and it's you know, it's sad when that happens. So I wouldn't want that to happen. I also think these shoes look best as a sandal and I would never wear a sandal. I would only ever wear a pump. So the way that I aesthetically like them the most isn't the way that I would buy them. So that also puts me off. Given the price point, they're £600. They're worth it. They are glorious and stunning and beautiful. And I wish that I owned some. I just would be too nervous to wear them. And when you're thinking about spending that amount of money on shoes, you shouldn't be nervous, to be honest. I know that I could wear a pair of So-Kates and I wouldn't be conscious about it. If they got a bit scuffed, they got a bit scuffed. If the red sole scraped a bit, that's fine. It doesn't bother me so much. Whereas if something happened to the beautiful butterfly wings, that's the signature of the shoe. So I would be really devastated. And I just feel I could wear a So-Kate more, and I would wear a So-Kate more. And a lot of people say how uncomfortable they are. I wear 120s a lot. So I'm fairly familiar with that. If they did an ariser in a 120, I'd also buy an ariser. But I don't really like to wear an 100mm. If I'm wearing a heel, I like it to be a 120 or minimum 115mm. So that's where I'm at with those. Gorgeous, beautiful. We'll lust after them forever, but we'll never own them. They've gone off my wish list. One of my favourite bags, as you know, is the Aspinall of London Tote. I own two. I own the gorgeous Tea Rose Pebble and the Chack Hill Blue. They are stunning, fabulous, all of the above. I talked about potentially wanting to buy one in a neutral. No. I've decided to scrape that idea. I am going to buy one in another bright colour. Should they bring one out in a bright green or a bright yellow or even a different shade of blue like a cobalt, then I would buy that bag. I have been loving my bright bags recently. I went through a little bit of a slump with my style where I was questioning it and I was then thinking about neutrals and all of that, and I'm back. I'm back on the bright train, okay? I am back, okay? I am back with my, you know, Crayola pack of pencils look where you just throw them all together onto a page. That's my style. That's my way of dressing. I love the idea of bright colours and clashing and, oh, yes. So I'm back with that. So I've looked at my collection. I've let go of 2 pieces, as I spoke about. I'm looking at letting go of a couple more. The general theme with those was that they're, you know, dark grey or they're black. And it's because I want to make room for more bright colours. I would love to have a large kind of top handle in this colour. If I could get an Aspinall of London Tote in this colour, oh my goodness, that would be absolutely dreamy. I'm actually going to use this bag in a couple of weeks. So it's not one that I use very often, but I will be using it. But yeah, so I've decided that the neutrals, whether it be an Aspinall of London Tote or a Longchamp Rousseau, I'm not worried. No. The only exception I would make is, no, No, I don't have an exception. Nope. A white bag, a light grey bag. Nope. They're beautiful. Don't get me wrong. And who knows, I might eat my words if I see the absolutely perfect one. But no, I'm good. Those have been struck from the wish list. Colour, pattern, print, vibrancy. That's what we're going for. Something I was looking at replacing and kind of duplicating that I already own, but I've decided I'm good. I'm good with the one I've got, and I'm good with the other variations of this item. Puffer jacket from Karl Lagerfeld. I own one. I own a couple of other jackets from Karl Lagerfeld. I own about 3 gilets from other brands, Jack Wills, Crew. I own a couple of Zara puffer jackets. I'm good. I know I live in the UK and the weather isn't brilliant, but how many puffer style outerwear does someone need? I have 8 different versions, all of which look pretty good because I wear them pretty interchangeably. Plus I then have 10 like overcoats, like long overcoats. Plus I have faux furs. Like, how much outerwear does one person need? So that can go off the list unless I happen to see the absolute perfect one at the perfect price point. But that could be from any brand. It doesn't need to be Karl Lagerfeld. I do tend to look at theirs more because I love the outerwear from Karl Lagerfeld. And if you're looking at outerwear, I can highly recommend it. I own a number of pieces and I do really recommend. But I'm good for now. I think I've got enough. I think I'm enjoying using what I have, and that's fine. But like I said, if inspiration strikes when I happen to see a piece, absolutely fine. But for now, not looking. Yeah, I'm good. Off the list. And last but by no means least, a bag that I've spoken about a number of times, and I've missed out on a couple of different versions of this, which I do regret. But I've now decided it's just not for me. A large Lady Dior. I love the Lady Dior. I think it's simple and elegant and sophisticated and beautiful, and it comes out in a gorgeous range of colours. I always wanted a large of these. I missed out on a beautiful white one, and I've spoken about that before. I missed out on a beautiful denim with perspex handles, and I've spoken about that as well. The white leather was £1,000 in excellent condition. The denim with perspex was $650 in good condition. You know, I wasn't in a place to buy them at the time. Whereas now, had they have come up, I'd have snapped them up. But I've decided that actually if I take the denim one out of the equation, the core large Lady Dior and leather, a lambskin top handle such as that, it wouldn't last very well with me. I am not delicate with my bags. Most of my bags are pebbled leather or another form of material because I wouldn't suit the very delicate materials. They don't do it for me. To be honest, I'm too rough with my bags. I don't like to pamper them. I look after them and I clean them and I check them and I want to make sure they last me. But there's a reason that I have quite hardy materials like denim and pebbled leather and mock croc. Like, these are quite solid materials that can last with someone who grabs them out the car, throws them on a desk, puts them on the floor. I don't worry about putting a Mulberry Bayswater on the floor. It's fine, it's a bag, it has feet, that's what it's there for, it's not an issue. Even if the bag doesn't have feet, it can still go on the floor, not the end of the world. I'll take it home, look at it, wipe it over. I don't want to have to be worrying with a piece, and I would worry with a Lady Dior. They are beautiful. I also try to think how I would style it. And every time I think how could I style it, I come up a little bit short. And the reason being, I think the handles. So I like the kind of slightly longer handles that some of my other top handles have. And this, I wouldn't wear crossbody, I wouldn't wear on the shoulder, it would be top handle exclusively. And I think those handles, I might struggle to style. And I think the proportions for me would throw me a little bit in terms of the outfits. So beautiful as it may be, and like I said, I might eat my words because if the perfect one, if I'm scrolling and the perfect one comes up on Designer Exchange or Luxury Promise or Addicted to Handbags or, you know, Arm Candy Bag Company, if it comes up on any of those and I'm not looking but I see it, absolutely. But instead of the Lady Dior, I'm now much more committed to finding a Celine Phantom in a bright colour. And again, I've asked a few consigners to look into that for me. They can find me one in bright blue, bright green, bright pink. Yeah, I'd be open. Oh, that was the only one that I had the exception to when it came to the neutral. I've said that I would be happy to have a white Celine Phantom. Not light grey, because I don't really want the taupe. That kind of taupey colour. It's lovely, but it's not really my style. But I have said if there's one in a really beautiful kind of crisp white, I would happily see that if a consignor could find one for me. So that was the exception to the neutral. So there we are, everyone. I mean, that was a little bit rambly. I kind of took you on a few different tangents there, but I quite like this opportunity to just speak openly to you, share my thoughts, share my feelings, where am I at with things, what am I thinking, and hopefully you enjoy it too. Anyway, thank you so much as always for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye now. Mwah.